Ich darf Ihnen als weiteren Schöller Fellow 2012 nun Herrn Dr. Hossein Zadeh vorstellen. Es ist mir eine Freude, Herrn Dr. Zadeh heute hier auszeichnen zu dürfen. Und es ist völlig unmöglich, in der Kürze der Zeit seine bisherigen Leistungen auch nur annähernd zu skizzieren. Ich beschränke mich daher auf Schlaglichter. Dr. Hossein Zadeh kommt von der Defense Science Technology Organization Australien zu uns und das nicht zum ersten Mal. Intensiver und enger Kontakt besteht bereits seit 2010 zum Fachbereich, als er noch am RMIT, dem Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, als Forscher arbeitete. Seither gab es regelmäßige Zusammenarbeit in der Forschung, aber auch in der Lehre. Und Nachwuchswissenschaftler unserer Universität hatten bereits die Gelegenheit, umgekehrt direkt vor Ort bei Herrn Zadeh in Melbourne zu arbeiten. Dr. Zadeh steht wie wenige andere Wissenschaftler für das Thema Business Service Science und inspiriert und erweitert mit seinen Arbeiten in perfekter Passung die Nürnberger Forschung zur Dienstleistungsinnovation. Seine Produktivität beeindruckt. Allein im Jahr 2011 hat Dr. Zadeh eine A+ und weitere 3 A-Publikationen vorgelegt, natürlich zusätzlich zu weiteren Buch- und Forschungsbeiträgen. Sie verstehen jetzt, warum ich fast alles auslasse. Seine Arbeit bleibt aber nicht im Buch, im Journal, im Paper stecken, sondern sie nimmt Einfluss auf die reale Welt. Das mag jetzt zu Sorge und Bedenken führen, denn ich hatte ja gesagt, er kommt vom Defense Science and Technology Organization und man weiß da nicht immer, ob man so viel realen Impact haben möchte, aber es ist gerade das spannende Projekt, das Herr Dr. Zadeh vorgeschlagen hat, das die Jury so nachhaltig beeindruckt hat. Es geht ihm nämlich, ganz grob gesagt, darum, wissenschaftlichen Fortschritt bei der Prävention und Bekämpfung von Alterskrankheiten voranzutreiben. Und Kern seines Projektes, soweit wir es verstanden haben, ist es, älteren Menschen bei der Bewältigung von Altersbeschwerden zu helfen und das mit modernen Technologien und mit Dienstleistungsinnovationen. Aber hören Sie selbst, ich bin schon gespannt auf seine Projektvorstellung. Und zunächst darf ich Herrn Dr. Hossein Zadeh zur Überreichung der Schöller Fellowship auf die Bühne bitten. Congratulations, herzlichen Glückwunsch to Dr. Zadeh.
Thank you very much. I had a few ideas of what I wanted to talk about, but after this fantastic introduction, I'm very humbled. I wanted to start by thanking the Schöller Foundation and thanking my colleagues and friends who are here, Dr. Durst and Janine Viol from the university. I also be remiss here if I don't thank the people who had contributed to where I am now. If it wasn't for my father, I would not have even started university. And if it wasn't for my ex-wife, I would not have never finished it. So I should thank them both. Now, I have been working with the chair of Professor Budendorf in the university for a couple of years. We have had a number of research projects, and we have had a number of funding applications which have been successful, which is great. But this project is very close to my heart because it draws from a number of different disciplines. When these days, you think about what are the innovations that are happening. Most of the new ideas, innovations that come into mind are not a result of one specific discipline. What the innovation these days is about is try to get ideas from different disciplines, combine them in a way that people have never thought about, and have specific contributions to society. And that is where the real innovation is these days, and IT has a big part in that. And having that kind of a background, one day, like any other good ideas, I was in a shower and good ideas, comes to you. And the first point, if we can have a click on this, please. Yes. I was thinking about advances in computational power and analytics. These days with ICT, we can process huge amount of data. We can extract a lot of knowledge from this. So that is one part of what I had in mind, and I have some background in IT. So I thought this is great. But then I was talking with a friend of mine, if you could click again. And he was telling me about smart fabrics. Smart fabrics is a whole category of fabrics, and they might have some sensors or LEDs or things like that embedded within fabric. And I thought these are brilliant ideas on their own and a lot of power. But if you can click again, please. I thought, how can we use this? How can we combine this in a way that is going to be beneficial to the society and to business together? And initially the idea I had, if you could click again, I thought, what about dangerous working environment? How can we use smart fabrics and analytics in an environment when people are working and it's harsh conditions? Then I thought this is an application of a direct application of smart fabrics, and it doesn't have a lot of analytics in it because we just don't have that much data about this. So I thought, yeah, it's okay, but it's not the right application for that. If you could click again. I thought a better application would be in the case of emergency services. What if, as soon as we get a patient in an ambulance, for example, we have all of these smart, sensors, and we can extract information, a lot of information, analyze it. And then I thought, okay, I think I'm on the right track. Now let's think about, what better advantages we can have. If you could click again. And then I thought, right, healthcare. That is a brilliant idea. What if we have smart fabrics? We have analytics, and by smart fabrics, I mean the fabrics that have embedded sensors in them. The technology is getting there. It's not quite there yet. So I started making some contacts with a few people working in research organizations, and they said, well, we think we can embed some sensors in fabrics. So I thought, right, we can have sensors, get information about pulse, about perspiration, about various information, and then provide better healthcare services. And then I thought one of the groups in the society that is a growing group, but it's not being looked after very well, and they always have limited services available to them, is the aged care. And so how can we use this in the case of aged care? If you click again. And I thought, right, what if we design a fabric that has various specific sensors, and then because geriatric is a part that we have a lot of time on our hands, so we can actually develop a pattern of the behavior of aged care. So we can have a lot of analytics. For example, over a number of nights, if the system realizes that the patient gets up in the morning to use the bathroom, for example, around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and the system learns that, and if one day or one night, or rather, that thing doesn't happen, the system can alert the nurse, for example, that there might be something wrong. Or one of the cases that has a lot of fatality is hip or knee replacement. A lot of geriatrics might have a fall, have a hip fracture and those sort of things. And the percentage of people after having had a knee fracture or hip fracture is quite astonishing. More than 50% of these people would pass away within a year. And what if we have a system that can detect if this patient has got off the bed, has gone to use the restroom, but hasn't come back? Because one of the simplest sensors you can put in there is pressure sensor. So you can easily detect if the patient, for example, is comfortable sleeper or not, if he or she is tossing and turning or not. And based on that, you can fine-tune all sort of medications for the patient. So this idea was developed, and I thought, right, now we are getting to the stage that we can call this an innovation. You could click again, please. As one of my friends always says, he says, innovation is the sum of all parts plus a delta. And that is where the value added is. That is where the synergy is. And I think by having combined, or having, not having done it yet, but the idea of having analytics and smart fabrics together in order to provide better, continuous services to aged care, which is a big portion of the society, then we are talking about the real innovation. And if you could click here, in order to make it happen, we need someone who realizes this potential, and Schöller Foundation was the exact catalyst in this. So I thank Schöller Foundation for seeing a value in this idea, and I've already started working on this. So thank you very much. Thank you.